studio for our first vegetarian conscious cooking. I would like to describe exactly the dish we are making. The dish we're making today is called flattened chipped rice or poha. It's a traditional North Indian dish. The rice that we normally eat, everybody knows, is flattened and dried. So it looks like flakes, and the end result we would get would be a sumptuous, wholesome chipped rice. You can have it at lunch or snack. Now this traditional dish can be made in two different ways. One is a light, dry, savory snack which you can store for over a week. And the other form is the one that we are going to learn today, which can be had as a lunch along with other condiments. But this is a complete nutritious meal. You don't need any additions, but just side condiments like yogurt, and you can do a minced cilantro salsa, and just some toppings. So I have my wok with oil on, and we're going to warm up a little bit. So let me just show you out here. We have all those different spices and the vegetables that we are going to use today. Lavanika, my assistant, will show you. We have the vegetables. If you can show them one by one, all the vegetables we're going to use. The carrot, the beans, and the tomatoes. And we have some corn. Go. And here Anab is cutting potato wedges, which we're going to deep fry. Or if you would like, you can always saute the vegetables. It takes a little time, so we are doing the cooking for about 2 to 4 people. It should serve. And we can deep fry this as I think my oil is hot enough. Let's check. Yes, perfect. We can just put these in. We do not have to do them all the way through. We don't cook them all the way through, just a little partial, so they're nice and sumptuous when you put them in the poha. Go. Go. It only takes a couple of minutes. You just have to stir them. If I can ask Prachi, my assistant, to just take over the hot oil. Thank you. There you go. We can do another batch. So the important part here in the cooking generally is that I think everybody knows a little bit how to cook and be able to, get all the nutrition and something. But what we're actually looking for is the intent of cooking here. We are wanting to have, the intent here would be love, and what exactly the feeling, the emotion that you're cooking it with. We wanting to serve, give it to the Lord. That's why we want to offer everything in its finest, purest form. So we can cook vegetarian, but the intent behind is different. That's what exactly makes it special. Thank you very much. And you can take it out and the strainer. I turn it on now. Right, there you go. I can increase the heat, and we can salt them a little bit. Vanika, if you would pass the salt, or maybe the whole plate. Thank you very much. And although I'm making it only for 2 to 4 people, we have it for everybody. So don't worry, we will all get to have it. There, next batch. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, I would need that for, there you go. I think that should be good enough for our 2 to 4. That's And while Prachi is frying that, we can turn on the actual cooking for the poha. So we put 2 tablespoons of oil. And turn the heat on. I guess this one goes by itself. Okay, I think it's on. Let it heat up just a little bit. Lavanika, if you could pass me the asafoetida. The first ingredient, I'll go. Thank you. I have it for reminding me. So you're going to just let it. See if it's ready. So meanwhile, we can cut our ginger. There we have. Oh, awesome. My ginger julienne. He's already on it. Okay, just a little bit. This would do. Yes. So here we have asafoetida, some cumin seeds, salt. This is the chaat masala. The main ingredient for this one is dried mango powder. And this is turmeric. Now we have a couple of other spices, if Lavanika would pass me that. This is red chili powder, some whole dried red chilies, and some peanuts. So I would like to mention here that if any of you have allergies to nuts, you can use allergy to peanuts, you can use almonds or cashews, or if you're completely allergic to nuts, we can substitute with something else which is a little crunchier, just that it gives a nice crunch to poha. So I would need that, thank you, and I think it's ready. So I have my asafoetida, put some cumin seeds, let it splatter a little bit, and then I can add my ginger. Thank you very much. Meanwhile, if she can pass me, Lavanika can pass me the vegetables one by one. And there we go. So we have green beans. There you go. Awesome. Here we have the ginger julienne. That was very nicely cut. Thank you. That's ready. We can increase the heat a little bit if you want right now, and then lower it later on. When I came here with my family today, I didn't know much about the studio, but Divya had described to me over the phone all the wonderful things, and we were so happy that Rhett and Annabelle were here to receive us and show us around, and it's a beautiful, wonderful place being used for completely such a auspicious and blessed thing that we can make an offering and show people how to live and live and do conscious vegetarian cooking. So I think it's all ready. We can add our spices one by one. Turmeric, salt as per taste. You can add a whole red fried chili and some peanuts. We can saute a little bit here, or you can do it with the other vegetables too. Lavanika, you can pass the other vegetables. You can pass on the carrots, and Nap will cut the tomatoes and grind them. There you go. 2 would be good enough. We can lower the heat. Maybe I can just do 2. Let's do it. No, it's good. Yeah, just grind it for me. There you go. Thank you. Then lower the heat. Okay. We're trying to figure it out. There you go. That's good. A little bit more. That will be perfect. I can take that out. You can do it. Okay. Thank you. Leftover in there. Just rinse this bowl and put it back in. Monica, what other spices do you have over there? What is that?
This is paprika powder, red chili
Okay, so can I have that? Teeny bit. You can. This is optional. If you want, you can leave it out completely. I'm not going to put much in. Yes. And if you want, there you go. So, have it right here. Black pepper. Yes, in the end. So here I have the deep fried vegetables. I'm going to add them in to the tomato paste that I made. There you go. And meanwhile, you can put the chipped rice, rinse it a little bit in water, run it under cold water, hot water, but just rinse it. We don't want to soak it completely, but we just want them to fluff up a little bit. So, and by the time our vegetables are ready, this will be ready too. So I'm just going to leave it here. Now, let's put the peels away. There we go. If you want to do the rest of the tomatoes, if you can cut in, yeah, here read them for me. There are 2 more. You have 2 more tomatoes, right? Where are they? Okay. Davanika, if you could pass me the rest of the tomatoes. You have 2 more. Thank you. So here we go. We have a medium low while the rest of our tomatoes are getting done. Thank you very much, Prashi. She's patiently frying everything. We get our plate. So as you see, it does not have a lot of spices. It won't be overpowering. It's going to be mild, but it's going to be so fulfilling, you know, to your senses that you've had good, nutritious vegetarian prasadam. That is good. It's done. Okay, let's see. I think we can fix it. You know, a bit. Yeah. I think that's ready. Thank you. More. And we do not want to separate the oil here completely because it's going to cook in its own in the juice that it has. And when you take a wok, remember to have a thick bottom wok so it traps the heat, because we're going to turn it off and it's going to just cook in its juice. There we go. Let's see. Yeah. Maybe a little bit of salt. We can do in the end. Awesome. So let's add those vegetables, the rest of them right here. There we go. I think I cut me some cilantro and a lemon. I think we can turn it off. Thank you very much, Prachi. If you can wash and just rinse it a little bit. Yes, you can cut the whole thing. So let's see if our chipped rice is ready. So you see how it is not completely wet, but it's all soaked in. It doesn't require a lot of soaking, just like maybe 5 minutes prior when you start doing the vegetables, you can just rinse it underwater. And if you see, we haven't dried up all the juice. It's still there. And there we go. We can turn the heat on a little bit so it heats up, and then we're going to turn it off. So it traps everything in. Mix it well. Almost ready. It's not it doesn't take long. There we go. We're going to let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes. Cover it with a lid. And when it's done, we're going to add a couple of spices. So the one that I was talking about, chaat masala, is like dried mango powder, and some cilantro and lemon juice. And meanwhile, this is our pre-cooked. Let's see how it's warming up nicely. Yep. Almost ready. Just wait a little bit. Maybe it's not that hot right now. You can just leave it on a low if you like, if you feel it doesn't have enough heat. There you go. Meanwhile, let's prepare our condiments. So here we have some yogurt. Would you like to put a couple spoons? Thank you very much. And Vanika, if you would like to cut some cucumbers for the condiments on the side. There we go. And we have some cilantro here. Okay. And this is a pre-prepared cilantro mint salsa. We're going to pour some as a condiment on the side. You can use a spoon. There we go. A little bit more. So I think I have one more spice. Let me walk over there. I should. Okay. Okay. We forgot this. Curry leaves. Since it's still on, add those. You can stir it in the middle. Thank you very much. A little bit more. And some here. Some black pepper on the yogurt. Slice of this. And and some lemon juice. Yes. So here. There you go. It's doing well. Almost ready. That would be good. Thank you. So this comes at the end when the prep is done. We're going to garnish it with cilantro and some lemon juice. Here we have the cilantro for garnish. Maybe we can put all that and add some cucumbers on the side. Use. Thank you. You can put some couple on the yogurt. There you go. Thank you. And we're going to put them on the side so we can have it with our, here you go, put them in a bowl. We can have it. And let's put all that cilantro in our prepared. As you see now, it's all soaked in the juice. The juice is all gone. So we added black pepper and my lemon juice. And let's put it out. So there we have it, and let's do a little check if the salt is good enough. So let's see. Okay, try it and see if the salt is good enough and we can add for everybody. I hope, thank you for being so patient, and hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoyed cooking it. Hope you have it and savor it. And once again, I would like to thank Maharaj that have so graciously, have kindly come here and given me their blessings, and Rhett and Annabelle for at the Wave Studio. Thank you.
Now let's turn off your microphone. Have that, but what was so different about this cooking is the intent or the consciousness behind the act. So, which is of prime importance. As we can see, just to give you an example, if a person out in the street hurts someone or kills them, they're punished. But if a soldier who's fighting for his country hurts the other, the enemy, or kills the enemy, then they're honored. The loss of life is the same. What is the difference? The difference being consciousness. The consciousness behind the act. And so this is a really subtle, a very fine conception to understand, also very central if we are to engage in any kind of meaningful yoga. So with that, I would like to hand it over to Srila Bhaktipawan Janardhan Maharaj and also Madhusudan Maharaj, so we can have this dialogue and we can hear a little in more detail about what this is and how are we different and what is this fine yoga.
Maharaj, please first.
So as Jairam has mentioned, we're coming from the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mutt and the founder Charya Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj, and we are all disciples and followers of Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj. And here in Santa Cruz, we're in Monterey now, but nearby in Santa Cruz, California, we have a center, and that is called Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Sevashram. And Seva means offering service. So when Aba was demonstrating how to cook preparation tonight, a poha, then she was talking about conscious cooking. And Jairam here mentioned the art of yoga. So first of all, one could think, what is the connection between conscious cooking and yoga? But the word yoga is actually means to establish a connection with the Supreme. Now for us, we're followers of what is called Gaudiya Vaishnavism. So for us, we're approaching the Lord, Shri Radha and Krishna, and through the person of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we have a personalized conception of worship. And as yoga is a connection, means through our consciousness, we want to establish a connection with the Lord. And therefore, when we are cooking or when we are doing any activity, ultimately in pure consciousness, we want to be able to offer that to the Lord. So in the Bhagavad Gita, there is a verse which mentions Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachati Taraham Bhaktya Paritam Ashnami Prayatatmana. And Srila Sridhar Maharaj has given the translation. If one offers me with devotion a leaf, flower, fruit, or water, I affectionately accept that offering of the clean-hearted devotee. And because ultimately we're talking about devotion. Bhakti yoga means the yoga of devotion. And we say ultimately all forms of yoga, they have as their culmination is to be able to approach the Lord through bhakti yoga, which means offering one's mind, body, words, actions, everything in the service of the Lord. Therefore, as I said, our ashram is called the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Seva Ashram. Seva means service. We're offering our actions and activities to the Lord. So in the verse, in the Bhagavad Gita, from the 9th chapter is called Rajaguya Yoga, which means that which is the most intrinsic, or you can say the most, Guya means something, in one sense it means something which is hidden. And in another sense we can say it means what is the whole fundamental basis of the Bhagavad Gita, and Raja will be the you can say the king of yoga, like that. So in the verse that I mentioned, Krishna is saying if you offer a leaf or flower or some water or some fruit with love and devotion, I will accept that. So as Aba was saying, she mentioned conscious vegetarian cooking. So this is the consciousness. Ultimately, we relate consciousness with the actual person who is a servant of the Lord. That consciousness which is coming from that person, and that person ultimately is a spiritual entity, which in Gita is called the Jivatma. And that living entity is a part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, meaning his separated energy who is engaging in his service. So this is why we talk about consciousness, because consciousness is coming from spirit. Wherever you have consciousness, then you can see that there is the existence of a soul. Now, there are souls, obviously, we see all around us, so many persons, but there are also souls present in plants, in animals, in all forms of life. There is a soul present. And that soul, ultimately, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is giving the essence of Krishna consciousness, Supreme Lord, he is defining that the living person, us, he says, Jivar Swarupoi Krishna Nityadas. He says, when you go through all the coverings of external consciousness, like mind, intelligence, body, everything, when you come down to what is the central point of consciousness, then you understand that that person who is a soul is an eternal servant of the Lord. So when we come to pure consciousness, we can understand that. And therefore we say the practice of yoga is meant to bring you to that pure consciousness. And you can also do that through cooking, which is interesting, because when you're cooking, just as Abba was showing, many ingredients are brought and then they're placed ready to cook. We ourselves, we can say we are an ingredient, in the divine process. But the ingredients are all brought together to be made into an offering. So the consciousness is going into that, and of course, there are many, prerequisites of having that consciousness. Obviously, we want the consciousness to be clean, just as articles are cleaned, like the pots, the plates, and everything is clean to make the meal. So we also want ourselves, as who is preparing the meal, we also want ourselves to be clean. So that's also will be an ingredient of the cooking, to have that clean consciousness. Here in this verse it mentions an offering made by the clean-hearted devotee. So, and ultimately, you can say, when we mention leaf, flower, like a flower meaning like a tulip or like that, leaf, flower, or water, and also fruit. There are elements, or they're substances, food, which is available to everyone. Everyone has access to leaf, flowers, water, and fruit. And we say, ultimately, the Lord asked that these kind of ingredients, which are all, as you can see, they're all vegetarian ingredients. We are not offering to the Lord anything like meat or fish or eggs. That is our school. That is our school of cooking and consciousness. So these ingredients are brought together, but just as we're doing a cooking, in this case, a cooking class, we're compiling also many ingredients ourselves, because in order to do this, we have the actions, we have the thought process, the mentality of what we're doing to assemble everything and prepare everything. Then, so thought and actions, they're all going into the offering. And the thought and the activities, they're all ingredients in the offering. You know, the individual person who's doing the offering, who's preparing everything, he has many ingredients to bring together in his own self. So that's what we call part of the yoga process, that have that clean consciousness. You can say in certain forms of yoga, the offering will be made and given to the Lord. But in bhakti yoga, everything is given to the Lord. Thought, mind, actions, the very process of preparing, everything is done as part of the offering. It's not just the end result that now I've cooked something and now I'll offer that to the Lord. No, we want the whole process involves so many steps, and every one of those steps is part of the yoga process. So this is what we ultimately call that Krishna consciousness of the Supreme Lord, and we're offering everything to Radha and Krishna. But in our line, we are not offering directly to Radha and Krishna. First, we are offering to their divine representative, which for us is our Gurudev. Now we mentioned Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj. So we'll ultimately be offering to him. Then we're offering to Sri Chaitanya, also to the what we call the Guru Varga, all those associated, and who are what we call God brothers of Gurudev, and also the previous acharyas. The Guru, he has a Guru, and he has a Guru. The Guru of Govinda Maharaj is Srila Sridhar Maharaj, and so on, like that. And we call the acharyas, and then we have the Lord, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then ultimately to Radha Govinda or Radha Krishna. So this is how we, in our line, this is how we're making an offering. After the preparation is made, then it is offered to the Lord, and then what is left, or what is after it is offered, is called prasadam. So our approach to divinity is that we ourselves, as I said, we're offering ourselves. So the whole approach to the divine plane is that we are offering the raw materials to the divine plane, and what we get in return is prasadam, or mercy. So just as food is being offered to the Lord, we can say we're offering our mind. Sometimes, for instance, when I go to the Vaishnavas, I'll ask them, well, I'm thinking of doing this and this action. What is your opinion? And then they'll give me some advice. When I'm approaching the higher Vaishnavas, I'll say, this is on my mind, and this is what I'm trying to resolve. What is your suggestion? What is your advice? How should I proceed? And then they'll give me some advice, And what I get from them, their words, I consider to be prasadam. Then, in other words, I'm offering the raw materials, just as in cooking, you're offering some, carrots and some beans, and you're offering some flattened rice, and you're offering, so many different spices. You're offering that. So we're offering raw materials to the higher plane. Now, the first raw material may be my mind. I'm revealing my mind to the Vaishnavas, and I'm getting back advice, guidance from them, and that divine guidance I consider to be prasadam, to be the Lord's mercy, to be their mercy. I consider them as agents of the Lord. And then another, so I'm offering my mind. Another thing I may be offering to them is food, and they'll take that food, and then what they give me in return, or what the Lord gives me in return, is called prasadam. And just, again, the raw materials. In this case, the raw material may be, or will be, the finished product. Poha was made. Now it's still, you could say, well, what do you mean raw material? It's already been cooked. No, but it still needs, we still will want to offer that finished product before I sit down and eat it, or before my family takes that. I will offer it to the Lord in the form I have maybe some pictures, and I'll offer that to the Lord. So then I offer some raw materials, even though it's a finished cooked preparation, will be offered to the Lord. And then what I take with my family and my friends and loved ones, that will be prasadam. They'll all take that. And so it may be words, it may be my words, it may be my mind, it may be food stuff, whatever I'm offering to that superior plane, and looking for some direction or some guidance, or what I'm getting back is prasadam. It's prasadam, we can say in one sense it means mercy, but it also means some blessings from them. So this is kind of the direction. One of the things which we have is, we'll say, offering some obeisances, offering some respect to that plane, and getting back from that plane some blessings. It's a very nice process. It goes like that. I'm offering some devotion, some respect to that plane, and what I'm getting back is some form of divine blessings from that plane. And that is really what yoga is all about. There are many, many different kinds of yoga, that you've maybe heard about, jnana yoga and hatha yoga and sankhya yoga and so many different forms of yoga. But ultimately, all of those yogas, as the word yoga means connection, they're all meant for me to be able to establish a connection between myself and that divine plane. And that is really ultimately why it should be understood, at least, that everybody is engaging in yoga for that purpose. And all of you, through this learning, the cooking and offering, you can also engage in that form of yoga. And it's something you can do with your family. Everyone will benefit in that way. And it will, as Aba was saying, she was saying, conscious vegetarian cooking, that consciousness will purify everyone. So this is something I'd like to say tonight, and I'd also like to introduce my divine associate. His name is Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj. And
Jai.
Madhusudan Maharaj, he is one of the original persons of joining the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat.
Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Bhakti Sunda Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Our dear teacher.
And he came during the time of Srila Sridhar Maharaj, who's the founder of the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mutt, was founded in 1942. And Madhusudan Maharaj was asked by Srila Sridhar Maharaj to be there in our mutt in Navadip. And he, for many years, was stationed or situated in Navadip, and he always took care of all the pilgrims who went to India. So we know him for many years. Now we're fortunate that he has come to the Western countries, and he's going everywhere, going through Europe, Australia, Malaysia, Thailand, India, and now he has come back to join us here in California, and he's, for the time being, staying at our SoCal ashram in Santa Cruz. So again, I would like to welcome here Shripad Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj.
Thank you very much. So Jai Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj, our teacher and guardian. Jai Srila Bhakti Rockok Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj, our grand teacher and guardian. Like this is the hierarchy. And Jai Srila Bhakti Pavan Janardhan Maharaj, who is stationed here as the teacher and guardian here at the beautiful SoCal ashram on the side of a mountain just near Santa Cruz in California. So, as Maharaj mentioned in this context that we've been in India for so many years, what was our service in India was to help look after the pilgrims from around the world. So most of the audience, or some of the audience in this room, we have had the joy of being able to receive in the temple. And in Navadip in India, on the banks of the Ganges, is this very special place where some of the highest, sweetest, loving conceptions have been presented from the ancient Vedic scripture to this modern world from Navadip. And Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat stands for that strong current that has come, main current that has come from Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, which if you take it step by step, like great-grandfather teacher, if you like, this has come from Navadip to the world. Now, Srila Govinda Maharaj, who we had the privilege of meeting and getting to know from 1982 onwards until, till the present time. But Srila Govinda Maharaj, he was the host of the Western devotees and the Indian devotees. We are instruments to help him because the temple became bigger, more people came. But one thing very consistently we can see, that when anybody would come, they would arrive from distant places or nearby places if they're in India. But when they would come to the temple, one of the very first things Srila Govinda Maharaj would say is, "Have you had prasadam?" And prasadam is, just as our Srila Janardhan Maharaj was mentioning, prasadam is the food which is cooked for the Lord, offered to him, sanctified. And then that is known as prasadam. So it's vegetarian food which is offered to the Lord. And we hear that the audience, not only here, but the audience around the world who may be seeing the Wave Street studio broadcasts, are all interested in self-improvement, something to do, something good in our life. The world is pulling us in many directions, but the prasadam conception, the idea that when we will eat something, that we can also uplift ourselves through eating, is a very fundamental and important conception. And we saw this in our guardian, Srila Govinda Maharaj, sweet teacher, most sweet and most deep teacher. But he's showing by his example the importance of taking prasadam. Hospitality, Indian hospitality. When we are in India, if you go anywhere, really, the villagers, everybody, they make you so welcome in their homes, and they sit you down, offer some water, offer some prasadam, foodstuff offered to the Lord in this way. But why the emphasis on prasadam? Here we have in front of us a bowl with dirt inside it. Now, essentially, everywhere around, all the fields, you can go and you can get some dirt, you can get some earth from wherever you are in the world. But if we just have that in our hand, we can't do much with it. Maybe if the chemist or scientist analyzes it, he's going to see some iron and some this, that inside there. But if we get that dirt and just start to eat it, it's not going to do us very much good. So for all of us, we are very much reliant that some jiva soul, as Maharaj is mentioning, that some living entity, definition of a living entity is that he's got consciousness, that he is developing, coming from a seed, developing, and that includes us, by the way. We've all come from seeds, grown up, where we've become developed, dwindling, passing away. They are feeling thirst, they're feeling hunger, so many things that they're feeling. We were just recently with one disciple of Srila Janardana Maharaj, I believe, her name Janava Devidasi in Utah, and she is growing fully organic fruits and all kinds of fruits, vegetables, all kinds of things, but fully organic, very enthusiastic, even has her own water supply. But she told very clearly how lovingly the plants reciprocate. Not only it is her who's giving affection to the plants, but the plants are also giving affection to her. And those who have green fingers, mine are not green, I haven't practiced very much, but those who have green fingers means those who have that good capacity to grow from the earth. They are well aware of the life and the particular nature of the different living entities in the plants. We know animals have different natures. We know different breeds of dogs have got different natures. But different breeds of plants, the gardeners, they know they have different natures. Life is there in the plant. And without that life, just a clump of soil is not going to do you a lot of good. Even in this modern world where we think, oh, we can be independent of everything, we can do everything by ourselves. But man, for all of his boasting to say that life came from a clump of earth, man cannot make any life until today. Some idea that it may be possible. But these ancient scriptures that Maharaj is quoting from, the Bhagavad Gita, being short, succinct, and very powerful example, these ancient scriptures are making very clear from the beginning that there is the material nature and there is the conscious nature. Two kinds of energy. And the static material nature, the soil, the earth, the land like that, it needs the living entity, the conscious, in order to convert that into something which we can eat, something which has got flavor, which has got taste, which has got variety. And every gardener knows that the plants, they are conscious. They have that consciousness. So life is all around. The life for the man has been given in Bhagavad Gita as the fruits, the fruits, roots, the vegetables, milk also, water. This is life for man. This is the food for man, rather. And that food is to be taken in remembrance of who has given that food. This is a crucial point, that all of life, we are taking life by animal propensity. Every animal is somehow taking the life of other species. For the tiger, they are taking life of other animals. For us, we are taking the life of plants, etc. But how to change this exploitation tendency, the necessity to eat, the necessity to exploit, to dominate something else for myself, how to change that so that it is not taking us down in the karma cycle. Because for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Even the plants have life. Sure, every child knows it's completely different to go and pick some lettuce than it is to go and kill a goat. Anybody with the slightest bit of consciousness can catch that. But still, the lettuce has life, the cabbage has life, the potato has life. They all have life by definition. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a potato. It would be still your clump of earth inside. So the Bhagavad Gita, the Chaitanya Charitamrita, giving so many examples, but the example is that we cook nicely and then remember that actually who has made everything, everything is for him and not for us. We are also made. So let's start to think about the person who we are, the person who is here, the person within a plant. Now, when we get the teachings from the scripture, we come to see that we can make our foodstuffs very tasty, very sweet, very nice, but offer it to the Lord. By that process, then instead of cooking for our own senses, we're cooking something, we are going to make something very nice to please the Lord. And as Maharaj was saying, we cannot reach him directly, but we know that his representatives, they can taste these things very nicely. So when we cook something nicely and offer to Janardhan Maharaj, we know that he's remembering Gurudev and he's remembering his Gurudev. This process, it is a very practical process in this world. And so normally we have an altar with a picture of our gurus, our spiritual teachers, and we are making the offering in that way. There is so much variety, and heart is everything. We want to try to make the variety in this world. We make ourselves conscious that this has all come from the origin of all variety, the origin of all beauty, sweetness, love, charm of all life. That is meant for him, and we are also meant for him. The scriptures say, yes, there's Narayan, there's Ramachandra, there are many forms of Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord, but the ultimate, the origin, Anadi Adi, Govinda, Govinda, Savakarana Karanam, the origin of the origin of the origin as far as you can go, that is Govinda. He's also known as Krishna. And everything has come from him. And his main features are beautiful, attractive, harmonizing, sweet, everything like this. Hungry. Oh, merciful. He can also be hungry too. But merciful. Maharaj is saying merciful, not hungry. Merciful. So when he sees that we are trying to remember him in our cooking, in our preparation of foodstuff, and in our tasting it afterwards, then he is seeing that we are trying, we are making some little step to make our fundamental necessity of life into a devotional activity. And you can forget all about the women, or the women can forget all about the men. You can forget all about your palatial house and your Mercedes and Porsche and Rolls-Royce. And I have not seen one Rolls-Royce in America yet. But anyhow, you can forget all about those things when you don't have food. When you don't have food, what is the essential necessity? Food. The animal kingdom is all taking food as I'm going to get it for myself and I will fight with any others to get it. So I eat in preference to others eating. But this is animal consciousness. And we are not to be just a two-legged animal. In other words, just make our human form more efficient at getting it before others get it so I can eat nicely. So the fundamental necessity for life in this world for us all is to eat. If we can make that fundamental necessity into a devotional activity, then we will find that everything starts to change around in our view of the environment and of the world. And ultimately we will see the Lord's hand behind everything, appreciate that everything is coming for our benefit to remember him more, and we will be drawn into also by the Lord's grace. We'll be drawn into the company of those who are also sincerely on that path home, the path out of this exploiting world, which is based on eating ultimately within the lower species of life. And we will be taken into the dedicating world, and that is the world of Govinda. Govinda Madi Purusham Tammahang Bhajami. And our spiritual master also, coincidentally we may say, has the beautiful name of Govinda Sunda, Bhakti Sunda Govinda Maharaj. The beautiful devotional Govinda was his name. And his Gurudev's name, and also our Gurudev's name, Srila Bhakti Rockok Sridhar Maharaj, protector of devotion. So these conceptions that we are sharing, they are not just imagined by somebody. They are coming from this lineage, very strong lineage, where this ancient scripture is being used as our textbook, and the practitioners of that, the teachers of that, those who are engaged in following those practices are like the professors, but the spiritual professors. And they are coming to give us good advice. So today's conscious cooking, we can really try to understand that conscious cooking, when it's woken up conscious state, really is doing everything in our preparation, our cooking, so that we'll make tasty things, that the vegetables, the fruits, the condiments, it's all coming from life, that all of them will get the benefit of being offered to the Lord. And finally, those who are honoring that will get the benefit of sanctified food. And throughout the spectrum of spiritual conception, then we can see throughout there is some idea of sanctified food. Holy places, holy people, holy food. So this is the conception that's given throughout the ancient Vedic teaching. So we have wonderful teachers. We have a wonderful ashram here in Soquel, near Santa Cruz in California. Maharaj is the head of that ashram. There are so many beautiful devotees. It's a wonderful family. They take prasadam every day. They have wonderful cooks. If you need to know more about how to cook, please look them up, find out how to. Get some good tips on cooking, and after the cooking, some good tips on how to relish what has been made. Okay, we're very grateful for everybody for your participation today, for your audience, and I have something here. Somebody's waving at me. So.
I wonder if I could ask a question.
Yes, you may.
And I invite anybody else who has a question, we can use this microphone here. My question would be about the items that are offered, and how the difference between maybe a vegetarian diet and a completely animal product free diet interact with the Hare Krishna consciousness and the rules therein.
The difference between vegetarian and fully vegetarian.
Right, and then the idea behind including some animal products like honey and things like that, and occasional dairy, I believe, right?
Oh.
Vegan and
Okay.
vegetarian.
So honey, everyone will be happy to know, is offerable. So the honey, the roots and vegetables and fruits, etc., we don't actually take everything. We don't take onions and garlic. They're regarded, well, first of all, they're regarded as not offerable. Therefore, we don't take. But you can also say because they actually induce tamagun and rajagun, which is the mode of ignorance and the mode of passion. And we are trying to come to the mode of goodness. And then milk products we do take, because that milk, those milk products, Govinda likes milk. And actually we know that there is controversy, not controversy, but there is much concern about the way animals are treated, including cows, which is where milk comes from. For those of you who live in the cities, it doesn't come from the supermarket, it comes from cows. And, there is concern for this. But this question came up to our Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj, and it came up to him along with quite a vivid description of how the cows are treated. But our Gurudev Govinda Maharaj, he said, he considered everything seriously, and he said, but we are offering the produce for Krishna's satisfaction, for Govinda's satisfaction. He likes milk products. So, yes, where possible, we will get milk products from a humane source. But otherwise, in the cities all over the world, you've only got supermarkets. So what are you going to do? And Govinda Maharaj said, but we are offering, so that produce from the cow, by being offered to the Lord, the cow is getting benefit. This is one thing. When we are in really conscious offering, conscious cooking, everything, the plants, they are dying, but they're getting benefit because they're being offered to the Lord. The cow's produce, the cow's fruit, his milk, that is being offered to the Lord. If we don't offer to the Lord the milk products, then the cow will have gone through all that suffering and won't have got any benefit. So actually the process of offering is to give benefit to all involved. It's not only, oh, we are going to offer so that we can say, oh, now we have sanctified foodstuff. But the tree that produces the apple, he's happy that he made a nice apple that is offered. The cow that has produced the milk is very happy that the milk is offered. They may not know, but that is called agyata sukriti. Agyata means unknowingly they're getting benefit, but they're getting benefit. And when that sukriti reaches a certain level, those animals and plants become like us, become awake, more conscious, and are able to decide in this body, for instance, to decide how to make a turn in your life, a turn for the better. And as you mentioned just now, generally everybody who's here and everyone who's watching, they want to make a turn for the better. They want to get some tips how to improve the quality of our life. So this way, then the bees also are getting benefit, and Krishna likes honey. Balaram likes honey, Krishna's brother. Balaram, he likes honey. Many things. So all these items we are offering, but for the benefit of the plant as well. It also included is gratefulness. Many things are included on a different level. And Maharaj would like to say something too, I know. Please, Maharaj.
So just as when Aba was cooking, she said, well, we're preparing this poha, but there may be some persons who are allergic to peanuts, so we won't include those peanuts. And you can substitute another nut like almonds or pecans or etc. in place of peanuts. Now, there may be some persons, for many different reasons, who don't want to offer milk products. And they may be vegan. They may be lactose intolerant. Many different reasons. So it is not that because we ourselves are offering milk products, it doesn't mean that everyone has to offer milk products. You don't have to offer milk products to the Lord if you yourself feel that philosophically or for one reason or another, you won't take milk products, you don't want to take honey, you don't want to take animal products, you don't have to offer those things in your individual home. But you can still prepare the preparations in a consciousness as an offering to the Lord. There's no prohibition that, because you don't want to take milk products, you have to. No, sure. There's nothing like that. In fact, in many places where I travel to, the people, they don't take so much. They don't take so much dairy products, either because they individually don't want to take them or they're not available, etc. So they prepare their food with the consciousness as an offering. And for instance, I go to China. I go to different places in China. We have devotees there also. And they're cooking in their traditional way, but they're not including, meat or fish or like that. And they're preparing. And often I've seen they'll prepare, like, as a central thing, they'll, of course, prepare rice. And then they sometimes prepare 10 different side dishes that they offer along with the rice. And everyone takes from these different preparations with chopsticks, and they're mixing the different things. And they are cooking in their own traditional way, the way they've learned how to cook. Like you've seen, stir fry and so many different ways. And then they're offering. And when they offer to us, and it's not that we say, oh, this is not cooked in the way that we've learned in India. No, we're very happy taking that, what they offer, because it's also, besides being very devotionally made, it's also delicious. So it's easy to be able to accept. So again, Maharaj was explaining that for us, we are what I guess you would call lacto-vegetarians. We use milk products. We don't use eggs, but we do use milk products and honey. But if someone says, oh, I'm a vegan and I cannot philosophically justify or accept eating milk products or taking, honey, etc., I shun completely ice cream, etc., fine.
We have vegan ice cream,
Well,
some of the
yeah.
best in the world, by the way.
Yeah, so you can take vegan ice cream, you can take, different products in place of dairy products, and sometimes if you don't tell anyone that they aren't even they aren't dairy products, people wouldn't even know. Just like
It's true.
sometimes when we prepare things, people can't believe that we've made certain preparations without using any meat. They're amazed at some of the things that can be offered by the devotees. Because in place of meat products, sometimes we're using soy products, right? And we're making all kinds of foodstuffs like that to offer to the Lord. So, but I believe that the important thing is that the person is doing everything in the sense of an offering to the Lord. And however they want to do that, if they want to do that according to their own tradition, just like when we go to Italy, the devotees will make pasta. They'll make eggplant parmesan, and they'll make so many different things according to their own tradition of learning. And we've also seen persons who are vegans. They can also prepare a form of eggplant parmesan, etc. So many different substitutions are available there. So for us, the important thing is not that someone forcefully has to use the same ingredients which we are using, because as Aba was saying, some people they can't tolerate peanuts. I know persons, if they eat peanuts, they get migraine headaches. It's that severe. So you don't have to use peanuts. You don't have to add any nuts. But if you want to add something, you can add something, as she was saying, something crunchy to give that texture. So it's like that.
I had a question. Maharaj, every day we have so many things to do and think about it, right? Like the traffic, where I gotta get on time to work. Tomorrow we had the appointment. So many things to do, yeah, and we had in our mind. How to clear our mind where we are going to cook. Like, okay, I'm gonna clean my mind and I'm going to cook. I don't know how to do it because I have so many things to do. And like, okay, I take away all the things that I have to do and now I'm gonna cook with love and affection. Is that something I can do before to cook? Or I don't know how. Yeah, I mean, anybody can.
Maharaj is here. I mean, well, I can say, I'm a householder, and I have, like you, I have 10,000 different things happening, and this and this. It's like, feel like sometimes a juggler, sometimes I'm walking a tightrope, but
But you get your wife to cook.
it's a, well, there's other angles to it.
Oh, okay.
But But what, like Maharaj was saying, and how beautifully Madhusudan Maharaj also said, it's the real intent. So I'm opening my mind as I'm approaching, like you opened your mind, like I have so many things. How can I sit down in a lotus position for 5 hours and perform the perfect breathing exercise and, come in touch with, my pranavayu, Is it possible in this age? I don't think so, because we all, at least I share what you just said. That's how it is. Our mind is running in 10,000 different places. And the only way, the most natural way of bringing it into concentration is to open my mind to, this Krishna consciousness, where I'm just basically saying this with all humility, that I can't concentrate. I can't. So please help me. I want to make this little offering for you. I have 10 minutes. And that's how I try and do it. And, sometimes it comes out good, sometimes not, but the intent is that. The intent is always like that. And I get hope from listening to Maharaj and like even scripture for like Bhagavad Gita. So like the yoga, at one point in time, back in India, I was really interested in like hot yoga, like, I have to do this and, pranayam and, but not getting anywhere, had different teachers. And then, coming in contact with this pure conception and Guru Maharaj and, reading the hidden treasure. And then the verses from Bhagavad Gita, he says, he's trying to accommodate everyone. Krishna is trying to say, well, you're a karmi, you do that. That's good. You do karma yoga. Gyan yoga, okay, you're interested in, exercising your mind. Good, keep doing it. You do that, I'll accommodate you. But then, when he gives his opinion, so he gives his opinion in such a way, he says that, Karmi bhayo dhiko yogi, jnani bhayo pi mato dhiko, tapasvi bhayascha dhiko yogi, tasmad yogi bhavarjana. Then in the next verse he says, yoginam api sarvesham madgatena antaratmana, shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yukta tamo mata. So in these two verses, he has given a gradation. He has compared yoga. He has said, karma yoga, yes, it is good, very good, do it. But above that is Jnana Yoga. If someone is a Jnana Yoga, then above that is tapasya. But above that is the actual yogi. And then he says, of all the yogis, which is the best yogi, which is the highest yogi? He or she, madgatena antaratmana, who has me as the object. Shraddhavan bhajate yomam. And with full devotion, they offer and they engage in service. So that is, if I see from there, then it gives me a lot of hope. Like, no, yes, I may not be able to sit like that for hours on end, but this yoga is the most subtle and is the finest and is the highest. And guess who's saying it? And don't believe me. It's Krishna. So, with that, if I have your permission, I hope that satisfied, some of what you said. But I would like to, have you lead kirtan, which is also, Harinam, Mahamantra. So if I could request all of you to kindly fold these chairs and put them on a side over here.
Shall we continue answering that question?
But she said time.
Okay, time.
Jai Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Rockok Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Vishwaranya Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. Nitai Go Premanandi Hari Hari Bo.
We have mridungas. Do we have kartals?
I'm sure they will do that.
Maharaj, you want to have some water?
No. We have a mridanga player. Hare Krishna. Dandavat, very good. Thank you. Yeah. And who are your kirtanya? Marj, are you the kirtanya? Please lead. You may begin the leading. Hare Krishna.
Do we have kartals? Okay. Yeah, does he know Hari Harai? Okay.
Do you like those, Nora? These are a little bit heavier.
Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Shri Mahamantra ki Jai. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki Jai. All the assembled devotees ki Jai. Nitai Go Premanandi Hari Hari Bo. Hare Krishna. Then sing, whoever will sing, will sing.
He'll sing Shri Krishna. Hari Harai. We'll do Hari Harai.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I have a microphone. I'm not the MC. That's the only thing. So it needs a conductor in the orchestra.
You can throw in some meat.
He's very good in this kirtan. You just go with the flow. You follow her.
Now where do we put this? Can we put it in here maybe?
The other
Has to have a
side.
green light on it.
We can have one mridanga, right? And two.
You want to, Mark? Pick them up from both?
Here, I can follow him.
No.
Oh, she is too.
She also plays too.
So please sing, somebody. We can't just stand here quietly.
Bhajo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda
Jai Shri Krishna What?
Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nittai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nittai Gaura Hari Bol. Nittai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nittai Gaura Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nittai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nittai Gaura Hari Bol. Nittai, 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 Nittai Gauranga. Nittai, 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 Nittai Gauranga. Nittai Gauranga, Gaura Hari. Jaya Satinandana, Jaya Satinandana. Jaya Satinandana, Jaya Satinandana. Jaya Satinandana, Gaura Hari. Jai Gauranga Sundar. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari
Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
Jai Saparikara Shishi Guru Garanga Gandhar Vika Giridhari Juki.
Jai.
Jai Om Vishnu Pad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj.
Jai.
Jai Om Vishnu Pad Srila Bhakti Ratak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj.
Jai.
Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki
Jai.
Jai. Brahmsiko Ho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasri Shri Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Govardhan Shyam Kunda Radha Kunda Kalindi Yamuna Jyoti Jai. All the assembled devotees Ki Jai. Shripad Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan
Hare
Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai.
Bhakti Chandan Parvat Maharaj Ki
Jai.
Divya Shakti Devi
Jai.
Divya Shakti Devi's Divine Birthday Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande.
Jai Shri Bhakti. Jai Shri Bhakti Pavan Janardhan Maharaj. Nitai Gaur Premanande. And to all the devotees, my obeisances, we are meeting here also. Vanchakalpatrubhyascha, kripasinduvyeva patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna. All right. We are very happy to see you all this evening. I'm very privileged to be here with you all. Hare Krishna. We here shall take prasadam around the world. You now must go and cook, offer, and then you please also take prasadam and join us.